Bwana Makali Mulu, you've had an opportunity to serve in the Budget and Appropriations Committee. And I'm thinking, that is where the crux of the matter is. We should be asking, you should be filling that gap.
Let me say this. Our 2010 Constitution clearly states that Parliament has a very big role to play in budget making. And that's why the budget policy statement comes to Parliament. That normally would be discussing high-level policy issues, strategy issues, telling you from the government thinking this is where most of the resources should go. And then that's followed up by the annual estimates. Right now you get to the details of the budget. But the challenge is, theoretically, Parliament should actually be doing the budget 100%. But practically, that has not been possible. Why has it not been possible? The budget you get from the executive, at times, when you look at the Public Finance Management Act, you realize that as a house, you're only given a small room in case of change. You might change not more than 1% of the total budget. Reorganize, not even changing, reorganize. So you find, even though the Constitution gives you a lot of authority, practically, you have those challenges. The other challenge which we have.
Are you saying the Constitution is impractical? Or is
no, it's very practical, but it's a implementation which is not been done as it should be.
It's a weakness of the House.
Of the House. Okay. And why is it a weakness of it? And these are the governance issues we don't seem to be picking in this country. One of the things is, if you look at the way the committees of Parliament should be constituted, always the majority should be having more members than the minority in the committee. The majority procedure normally would be representing the government interests. That is, the majority are from the ruling party, which normally would be now the government, forming the executive. So you know, there's a scheming whereby all the way from the executive to the majority side, it's like they have agreed this is going to be our budget. So even when it comes to the House and you want to oppose that position, you always lose because of the voting requirement that decisions in the House are made through voting. So you don't have a lot of room to maneuver. And then things are made worse, where you go to a parliamentary group meeting, and then from that parliamentary group meeting, which is normally held at the House at the Hill, you know where it is held, you are told Mongatana will be the chair of this committee, Honorable Okiro will be the chair of this committee. It's like members don't have that free hand to say who's going to chair the committees. So it's just an arrangement whereby at the end of the day, you might want to change the budget, but you don't do much. The other thing you have seen, and I've been in that house for long now, I want to just take an example. I wish you could look at what happened this week. This week we are doing the supplementary budget. Immediately we said now we are getting the Committee of Supplies. Committee of Supplies is now where you put money to specific departments. You know how much goes to water, how much goes to agriculture, how much goes to health. The House was at about 60 members because we were discussing which was of interest to the government. So there was a serious mobilization to get that thing passed. Immediately we go to the point of House of Supplies. That House remained with less than 5 members. I was among the 5.
So could I be right to say that is where the problem lies?
Exactly.
That is a disconnect between
So you see, when it comes to critical decision making, where you require presence of members, then the members are not there. And later, I'm telling you, next week, you hear people saying, our area has not been given money, our area has not been given money. We have the opportunity to look at the budget and say where money is. So these are the challenges we are facing. And basically, as we are saying, at the end of the day, there's a likelihood that whatever budget goes through the House is what the executive has proposed to the House.
That leaving the executive to do whatever it does or wants to do with our money that it has collected already. Yeah. Do you agree that perhaps Parliament is the weakest link, and probably that's where we have a gap between taxation and the services?
Well, I do not want to entirely blame members of Parliament. I think the issue is